Hi everyone, and welcome to the last episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions Season 4. Um, I will be publishing this in the new year, but technically this is my last episode of 2025. I'm filming this on December 30th. Um, and that is because some things have happened in the last few weeks na hindi ako nakapag-film ng bagong episode. I was actually supposed to make one a few weeks ago, pero hindi ko lang nagawa. And that's because I was given an ultimatum na I have to complete my thesis within arguably the next few months. And along with it, the narrative report, or I'm fucked. And I'm going all the way back to my very first year of college. So I'm going back to the very beginning, starting from nothing and basically disregarding all the work that I've put in for the last few years, and I can't risk that. Mahirap siyang i-risk sobra. And I haven't really told my parents about this. Ang nakakaalam lang pretty much are just the people that I really confide to. And alam niyo yung grabing ano siya, grabing reality check. Na parang, I remember, tama nga si Taka ni noon. I remember her saying kasi na parang, wala talaga kasi tayong choice but to move forward. Yun yung sabi niya sa, I think she said it to me one time. Like, time wouldn't stop for someone who's grieving, you know? And, like, nitong linggo lang, like just this Sunday, I decided to attend the Christmas party sa church, and I kind of deviated from the usual conservative covered up clothing um that I would usually wear when I'm going to church. So I would usually be really 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 covered up. Hindi kasi parang ayoko na magpakita ng katawan. And then I did the opposite during that Christmas party na I really did I really really took a risk with what I wear, and just I'm not as well endowed. You know, hindi ako, alam niyo yun, wala kasi yung boobs, guys. So parang ako like hindi ko kaya na hindi ko kayang hindi ko kaya ng ganong kalaking boobs. So parang ako wala na akong pake. So I really did just the top, and I didn't wear a bra. I just wore nipple covers pretty much. And it was so freeing, it was so liberating, and knowing the fact na sabi ko, I resolved to myself na after this, I'm gonna leave. I don't know if it's gonna be for good, but I would leave after that Christmas party. Hindi ko lang sinasabi sa kanila. I only said it pretty much to the only two people that I really trust, which are my two friends sa loob ng church. But other than that, I really didn't say anything to anybody. Not even my mentor. Kasi I know she already knows. And then napatingin ako sa messages. Sa message niya. Kasi she gave me like Legos nung Sunday. as like a post-Christmas gift. And then was when I was about to send the message and pictures ng natapos kong tulip, um ang sabi niya was just like the prodigal son. um I hope he comes back with a heart that's ready to be healed and loved. Pero parang when you think about the story of the prodigal son kasi, there are three characters eh. There are three very distinct characters. Yung nagrebelde na bunso, yung faithful na panganay, and yung tatay. Kasi, well, in a way, in the, I'm in the middle of both personalities, I'd say. Kasi, in a way, I was the rebel kid. I've always been the rebel kid. But not in the sense na gagastusin na yung ginawa nung rebelding bunso na ng babae siya, na ginastos niya sa kung ano. I mean, I did. Like, I usually spend something every Christmas. Ngayon nga ang pinagastusan ko is basically for the outfit and makeup and all that. And yun, parang ayokong, in a way similar ako sa kanya, but not in that way na umalis siya kasi daladala na niya yung daladala na niya yung kanyang mana ba. Kasi ako parang, when you think about it, I did leave, but that's because I kind of moved on from it, you know? Na naging lang ako. You know, life just happened for me. Hindi siya something na ginawa ko kasi pang it just happened for me, you know. The last 4 years were just absolutely lovely, even though naanohan ako ng pandemya. Parang ganon. Pero in a way, I was also the eldest son kasi, you know, parang, you know, in the time that I was back, for the half month that I was back, I attended every single week. And I mean, kada linggo, nandun ako. You don't see me in pictures. You only see me in very few of them. But I was there. And in that story, nung bumalik yung bunso, the eldest son was like, "Bro, how can you do that to me? How can you do that shit to me, your son? And I've been here. I've been taking care of you throughout. I've been taking care of everything throughout. And you just do nothing for me." And then, yung like, yung anak mo na nagrebelde ng babae, nagbulakbol, you give him a grand comeback, you know? And it makes me think, Like, I'm in that situation. I'm that eldest son. I don't know if people, like, other people genuinely appreciate the fact that I'm there, the fact that I'm attending at all. Um, Alam niyo yun, parang naalala ko bigla yung time na bumalik sila Ate Ces and Kuya Neil for that single week. I think 2 weeks pa nga nandito si Ate Ces because um, she was the preacher for the following week. Hindi ako pumunta nun. Tapos, I really decided na hindi ako pupunta, na I would stop. Nasabi ko, last Sunday would be my final attendance, na hindi na ako babalik after. Kasi parang, alam niyo yung feeling na, alam niyo yung pinakamasakit dun sa kwento ng prodigal son na yun, na yung panganay na nagstay dun throughout, and no one did anything for him, right? Like, not even the dad did anything for him. And he was so loyal to his dad. Parang, alam mo yun, like, parang naging glass child tuloy siya. In the sense na, hindi hindi na nga siya nagrereklamo. And then, nung bumalik yung na parang, nung bumalik siya, yung kapatid, naalala niya tuloy the fact na parang nag-e-exist lang siya doon sa mundo ng tatay. And in that sense, it was wrong to just be the dad na hindi nakaka-appreciate, number one, the fact na dapat nga nagpasalamat siya doon sa anak niya na nagstay to take care of it, to take care of his livestock, yung lahat ng mga bagay na dapat parang hindi niya man lang pinasalamatan yung anak na yun. And in a way, like, ang sakit kasi parang I was that. When I was there, I was that person, Like, hindi na nga ako nagrereklamo. Hindi na nga ako nagsasabi ng kahit ano I don't confide in people anymore. Like, I'm not somebody who opens up that easily. I'm very guarded of a person. Pero at the same time, parang hindi nalalapitan nila ako, sasabihin nila, Joy, okay ka lang ba? Ewan ko, like, hindi ko rin alam kung paano sasagutin. They would compliment my outfit, pero hindi nila sabihin na, Joy, okay ka lang? Naalala ko nung ligo, sabi ng mga onni o padol sa simbahan, sabi ng mga kuya tate ko, doon is, Joya, ang ganda ng outfit mo. Wow! Grabe, may pa-reveal. Parang, ganun yung consensus na naririnig ko. And Ate Jack was like, bro, why are you wearing like that? And I'm just like, why not? I mean, I'm just not in the business anymore ng Na parang ito na yung ano ko, subtle defiance, I would say. This is very different than the stuff that I would usually wear in church. Pero I guess you don't even fucking notice that, do you? You know, parang nag-e-exist ka lang doon, nandun ka lang, tinitigan mo lang. Like, parang, ang naisip ko nga doon sa perspective ng panganay is pinapanood niya lang yung celebration. Pinapanood niya lang yung fact na kinatayan siya ng kambing ata. Kinatayan yung bunso ng kambing kasi nagbabalik na siya. And when you think about it, when Kuya Neil and Ate Seth were there, they were celebrated like that. You know? And I was just there watching them. Kasi tangina, sino ba naman ako para makisama doon sa celebration? It wasn't my celebration to begin with, but it still hurts. Shit hurts, man. I don't think people understand really yung kwentong yun. Parang ang naiintindihan nila is yung surface level. The fact na, would people still be... Like, kahit nagstay ka na doon, would people still appreciate you kasi nagstay ka? Or ma-appreciate pa nila... Mas ma-appreciate pa nila yung taong lumisan for a short while. Because life just happens to them, you know? Habang ikaw, nanonood ka lang sa sidelines watching someone else be celebrated, and they don't even know the struggles of that inferiority complex na meron yung panganay na yun. Hindi nila alam yung sakit din ng panganay na parang he was neglected, you know? I mean, it unfortunately shows signs of abuse for the eldest son. Like, neglect for the first son. Kasi, alam niyo yun. And favoritism, you know? Favoritism for that younger son. Kasi siya yung ano eh. Kung iisipin niyo, siya yung sinelebrate eh. Even if he fucked up, you know? He fucked up. Yung pinamana sa kanya, winaldas niya, diba? But he was still celebrated, you know? Of course, it may be different now. I mean, in the context of it now, it's very different because the two did something, you know, that has a purpose. And it's very different from someone who does I mean, for somebody who is only trying to grasp like the reality of her situation, you know? Like, I just think na parang nare-realize ko over the past few weeks na kada Sunday, sige, gigising ako maaga, mag-aayos ako. I would style myself, go to church, spend like a few hours there talking to friends or whatever. And then come home and just crash in bed, you know? And then the next day, like, this literally happened yesterday. Nung natulog, nung pagka-uwi ni Joe, she left her things here sa bahay para makapunta kami ng Tagaytay na dala lang yung ano namin, yung gamit namin. Our handbags, you know. And umuwi na siya noon. And I was just so exhausted because I was preparing cupcakes the day before. And I prepared cupcakes din naggumising ako na maaga, guys. I woke up at 3:20 in the morning. Tapos inantok lang talaga ako. Inantok talaga ako pagka-uwi niya. And I just really slept for a long, long time. Pagkagising ko, I was feeling hot. And I know for a fact na hindi siya dahil sa men's ko kasi I was already on my third day. Last Sunday, pang-5 ko na nga ngayon. Hindi ako, like, I was just feeling like may parang hot flash ako throughout the entire day. So just imagine, so I was, and when I woke up yesterday, I was so weak. And I kid you not, like parang kinaya ko lang makatayo for a few seconds. Bumalik na ako sa taas. Humiga ako ulit. Bumalik lang ako ulit para din humiga lang ako throughout the day. And I checked my temp throughout. I checked my temperature throughout the entire day. I mean, I only did twice pala. And like, normal naman yung temp ko, ha. I will first check ko was 36.8. So still not something that you could call a mild fever kasi that's 37.5. And then the second was 37 degrees flat. So hindi pa rin siya pasok sa threshold ng mild fever. So I was really okay, but I was really feeling hot. So parang alam mo yun, like ang weird sa pakiramdam na ewan ko, basta parang ang init lang talaga nung feeling. Di ko ma-explain talaga. So, I don't know what the hell was going on. But I just know na during, especially this one moment nung mismong service, which happened earlier that morning, was that there was a part na pinaluhod kami. And everybody was just really, there was just a lot of emotion throughout the room. And it was pretty small. And gusto umiyak. I really wanted to cry that day. Pero hindi ko kinaya. Na parang, I was just thinking, why am I not crying? I should have been crying. Pero parang, at the same time, I realized na, I think, wala na akong amor. I think the right word for that is I fell out of love with this kind of feeling. I just fell out of love. That's it. Yun na yun. Like, kahit masakit siyang i-admit, but that's just how it is, you know? As much as I want to stay there, parang it's changed so much. And for somebody like me, it's just, baka if I stay, it might hurt me more in the long run. And Ate Ses and Kuya Neil's return was basically the catalyst for leaving. I'm not gonna place the blame on them. They weren't doing anything wrong naman. But their return definitely was a catalyst for me leaving. And I didn't tell anybody na alis na ako. Kasi ayokong, like, especially na birthday ngayon ng ni Joe at ni Ate Jack. I didn't want me leaving to be, you know, na we celebrated kasi their birthdays in advance last Sunday. And ako, ayoko na mag-take over yung, yung fact na hindi na ako babalik in 2026 to the church. Parang kasi naisip ko na, kaya ko naman eh. I've always done shit on my own. I've done my thesis on my own. And I didn't need help, you know. I could manage. Kahit na masakit. Kasi, tingnan nyo na naman hindi mo hindi naman nila kayang di naman nila kaya magbigay ng tulong kasi hindi rin naman sila capable to do so. 'Di ba? Ang ending, ikaw pa rin magpapasa ng sakit mo. Ang ending, ikaw pa rin yung yung burdens na dala mo when you first came there, when you first came back, are still the same burdens that you are gonna bring when you leave. And just basically stop attending altogether, you know? And it is a very hard resolve to get into. Pero kasi na-realize ko talaga nung panahong yun, during that na, if ganito lang naman, if I had to beg, 'di ba? Gaya nung panganay na yun, I just feel like the allusion to that story is kind of a hypocrisy. It's really a hypocrisy for me kasi hindi nila naiintindihan yung pinaka-nuance ng story na yun. Ang naiintindihan lang nila was the part na bumalik siya and they were and the youngest kid was welcomed, you know? Wala eh. Hindi na nila naintindihan yung sakit ng panganay. And in a way, yung tatay din, di nila naintindihan na bumalik yung pinakabunso na ganun yung sitwasyon, 'di ba? It's not like it's not something na pwede naman makir na mentorship, 'di ba? Hindi naman siya ganun. Complex naman yung situation. Like, kahit sabihin ni Kuya Neil na kaya ka may mentor kasi they're there to help you. Paano kung hindi naman niya kaya, 'di ba? Anong i-expect ko? Nag-expect din naman ako, umasa rin naman ako. Wala rin naman nangyari, 'di ba? Na parang nasa akin pa yung mali kasi umasa ako. Nasa akin pa yung mali kasi ako yung nag-reach out. Ako yung parang ika nga ni Chaya na people will make time. Will make time. And then, parang ako pa rin yung nagbubuhos eh. Tapos sila parang, sige, free up ko yung sked ko ha. Sige, talk tayo minsan. Like, 'di ba? Parang, wala ka nang mapanghahawakan na, na pag-asa ba? Ang ending, wala. Wala ka rin choice kundi umalis ulit. And hope that, somebody would actually be able to help you. This is the unfortunate reality of being somebody who is a victim of sexual abuse, It's just how it is. It's such a painful reality to be in, and I wouldn't want anyone to be in. But I genuinely hope they understand throughout na by watching this season, by listening to the entire season, this entire season of Midori's Midnight Sessions, na maintindihan nila yung perspective ko na hindi lang naman ito like seeking something na I want to heal. Okay, oo. Yes, you would, but at the same time, the other entity has to be in on it as well. Like, it, kaso sila parang, they just see it in that kind of reality. They don't see the realm beyond that, As much as I want to make them emphasize, I'm scared, genuinely scared na, ewan ko, like, I feel like every time na, I've done it twice, ha? The last time I told that story, I felt like I was reliving everything. And it was so scary that, I wouldn't want anybody to be in that kind of situation. And I wouldn't want anybody to be helpless in doing that, Paano pa ako, 'di ba? And I think, like, I'm just so happy na I met people that, I think are gonna be friends for life. And I'm happy na baka ngayon masasarado na rin yung chapter na, maybe this wasn't the place that I was meant to be in. Baka hindi ito yung tahanan for somebody like me, for somebody complex and weird, and a motherfucker like me, It's just not a home for the rebels. It's a home for the pretty, the beautiful, the loved. You know? It's just not a home for the rebels, the outcasts, the unknown, the unseen. It's unfortunately a home for those who were loved already, when they first started. They had love in there. They never had resentment towards anybody. They never had hurt, you know? Or maybe they do, but they're just too damn good at hiding that. It wasn't a home for people like me that rebelled throughout, that hid throughout, that was too scared to be seen pero wala lumalapit sa kanya kasi he's just like that eldest kid who was there, who was consistent, who even, you know, with their desire to hide, still showed up like a fucking, you know, like a fucking madman throughout. And then, when somebody like who was in the same realm as that kid throughout, the youngest kid throughout came back, everyone was celebrating the fuck out of it, you know? I just wish people understood really the nuance of that story. There's just so much more than what is told. And I think by not telling anybody except for the two, about me leaving, people wouldn't bother anymore. Because when I was there, I wasn't seen. What more? 'Di ba? Kaya I think I'm gonna end this episode right here. And if I am going to and if I'm going to um I don't know if I'll come back, and if I don't know if I'm gonna do a season 5, but I really hope I would. Um so yeah, an Irish goodbye it is. I'm really gonna do it like an Elliot Stabler. So this has been Midori's Midnight Session season 4. Hopefully a season 5 would happen. I don't know when, but I don't know when I would feel like doing it once more. But thank you so much for watching and listening. Kung isang episode man yan, kung dalawang episode, or all 28 episodes, this has been the longest season of Midori's Midnight Sessions yet. And I just want to say thank you so much for listening. I know I'm just ranting for most of these episodes. And I hope na this would be um I hope this would be kind of a reminder for people to just never stray away from who they are, to always be true to themselves, and uh we would heal. It would just take time. Um it would take time. I hope everyone heals from all of the wounds na meron sila. And I will be cheering you on from here on out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!